Welcome to Layeth the Mat Down. Charlie, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I am in the Windy City on
Mm.
LaSalle and Washington, and undisclosed floor though. I'll never tell you where that is. Uh,
Parts unknown.
I'm doing good. I'm hanging out. Crazy stuff happened Sunday. Yeah, let's get into it.
Sweet.
All right.
Don't you have something to ask us, Charlie?
So, Jim, how you doing?
I've been doing real shitty, man. Yesterday, I was probably the most sick that I've been in an entire year. Like, coming out of both ends, just stomach in knots, just full. I think I spent 12 hours in bed yesterday. The other 12 hours of the day were spent on the toilet. So it was a rough go. But I'm back. I was balling on kids up at the gym. So I worked today, thank goodness. So it was a good day. It was a good day. I'm doing well.
How do you go from crapping your brains out to balling on squires at the gym the next day? How does that transformation happen?
It's like the Jordan sick game, man. You just gotta dig deep.
No,
Or like
no,
John
you cannot
Cena
compare
shoulder.
that. You cannot
It's like the
compare that.
Jordan flu game, but the short white kid version.
Oh dear.
All right, moving on. Let's not ask Matt how he's doing. Just kidding, Matt. How you doing?
You're a dick. I'm doing pretty well. Same old. Just excited to do this podcast after the momentous Money in the Bank. So, yeah, we can move on. I won't put myself over this time.
That's a tradition, though. You can't break tradition.
Oh yeah. All right then. I will put myself over. So I was deciding I want to learn how to make iPhone games. So I had an idea. You guys can criticize my idea live on Lay the Mat Down. What about like a beat 'em up game, like old Ninja Turtle style, except the characters are wrestlers and they do wrestling moves?
I like it.
I shouldn't have said it on the podcast. Someone's gonna steal it.
So, like a scrolling platformer, though. You're scrolling along your phone. You're holding it horizontal.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, more like what's that game, Double Dragon or something similar to that.
Yeah, like
Someone's gonna steal it. Oh god.
I think that's cool.
But yeah.
So we're trying a little something new today. So I'm going to be leading Lay at the Mat Down a little bit, and we're going to see how it goes. So we can jump right into our news and rumors segment, and I'll start first because I'm at the top of the agenda. So news that broke is that the draft the brand split drafts taking place on the first live episode of SmackDown on July 19th. Which is interesting because I think the first time the news broke, I believe it was like July 11th on a Raw, but it's taking place on a SmackDown now, which kind of makes sense because after that SmackDown happens, then you start the new fresh week with like your kind of split teams, so to speak. So I have a couple questions I want to ask you guys, and Jim, I'm going to ask you first. I wanted to know, who do you think is going to be the SmackDown or Raw GM when it's all said and done, because they're kind of bringing people back and like almost teasing them. They did it with Johnny Laurinaitis, Teddy Long, and even Corporate Kane. So I wanted to ask you that, and then also, if you're SmackDown or Raw GM, who's going to be your first pick out of the gate?
Man, I think that a McMahon will always be in power. And I think they're going to go the route of Shane running SmackDown. I can see either Stephanie or Triple H running Raw. But if I'm kind of predicting that SmackDown stays more of the smarkier show for like kind of more of the adults. It's going to be 2 hours. I can see them going the route of, all right, here's our newer live show. Maybe they're going to want to get more of the wrestlers on that show. And I'm going to think they're going to have Shane, since he's the popular pick, captain that ship to get as many viewers as they can. People are going to watch Raw regardless. But if it was somebody on a lesser tone, then I feel like it might hurt their opening performance. And from what I heard, another rumor I heard was that the reason that this was happening was that USA was really upset with the SmackDown ratings, I heard, and that they were almost approaching WWE saying like, hey, the ratings for SmackDown are so bad that we're considering like this has got to go. We know you just moved here, but it's a really big letdown, and so that Vince had to pull the stops out and kind of say like, well, I'm gonna one up it. That's from what I heard from reading different rumors. And then if I had the first pick, I would say that.
I lost sound. 1 second.
Oh, well, I'm gonna keep going. I would say that if I had the first pick and it was me, I would have to take redesign, rebuild, and reclaim Seth Rollins. How could you not at this point? He's proven he can lead the show. He's proven to be a great wrestler, and he's kind of an in-betweener. He can be your top heel or your top baby face, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I think everything you said is great. It's interesting to hear about USA being so disappointed with SmackDown so soon. I would think they would give it more of a chance, but TV ratings is a cutthroat kind of game, so that's interesting to hear. So Matt, I want to ask the same questions to you then. Who do you think is going to run either Raw or SmackDown? Just kind of the GM situation, and who are you going to pick first if you were in that position?
Well, I can say for sure it's not going to be any of the jokes they brought out on Raw in the past few weeks. I would love to see Corporate Kane. That's not going to happen. I think Corporate Kane's funny. But probably Shane is going to be the GM of SmackDown. Yeah, and Steph's going to be Steph with Triple H would be my guess.
That's pretty safe. So who are you taking first overall?
It's very safe. I'm thinking, well, obviously everyone thought it was going to be Roman before his incident. That I won't ruin. I would pick Seth first, but that's because I love Seth. Second, I would pick Dean, I guess. Or Charlotte, because I picked Charlotte in our fantasy league, and she's finally scoring me points. I'm not in last place anymore.
Nice. Yeah, that's true. We'll get to that on the fantasy recap. That's a good point, though. I think Seth's versatility is, Jim touched on it, makes him a great first pick, and he's the hottest. He's one of the hottest things they have right now. I think a sneaky great first pick would be Rusev, because I love everything that he's doing, but that's probably reaching a little bit. So I'd probably take Seth or KO because they are my two favorite wrestlers right now. I think that SmackDown could possibly be your, like you said, Jim, your smarkier show. I think it's going to be filled more with like the up and coming talent, like the talent that has been in NXT and the talent that possibly like Triple H wants to push. But then also Shane McMahon kind of represents the new era too. So I'm not sure who is going to be who, but I could definitely see Shane being on SmackDown and then Triple H coming back and running Raw, and then that leading to maybe like a feud between them in the future after kind of the brand split. Brand split. I do that all the time. Kind of fizzles out. So I could see Shane leading SmackDown, Triple H leading Raw, and SmackDown being your show where the people that we want actually like get the pushes instead of your more established people like a Cena. Raw.
Can I say something about Rusev? Also, it was absolutely hilarious. He posted something on Twitter after he beat Titus Young. He said Titus Young's kids don't call him dad anymore; they call him Titus. Rusev is amazing.
He's amazing. All right. So I'm going to hop into a rumor really quick. Paige is being a naughty little girl and was detained, not arrested. There's a difference. I don't know that difference. If you know it, please tell us. The night of Money in the Bank, I believe it was, and transported via ambulance to a hospital for undisclosed reasons. No charges were filed. WWE is investigating. There might have been an altercation with the Peril, ADR, and the first thing that kind of popped into my head was I think Paige is just like a little like she's just so young. Like I looked up her age today, and she's 23 years old, and I just don't. Del Rio's 39, so like there's a big age difference there, and I'm just not sure if Paige. She might just be going through a little drama right now, and I'm not sure if she knows what she wants yet in life. I mean, she's had a lot of success early, and she had that whole thing on Total Divas where her boyfriend proposed to her, and then she's like, I don't really want to marry him. So I think maybe Paige's youth and immaturity just got to her a little bit, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. Do you guys have any takes on that, Matt? I feel like you might have a take since it's considering a diva and a Total Divas storyline potentially.
I mean, I like juicy gossip, so I don't know if I so much have a take on it as like just. I guess detained is what happens when you're a celebrity. That's all I can say.
Is that the same as being arrested then, Matt?
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah. She might be too pretty to get arrested.
Jim, do you have any comments on it?
I think that, one, the wrestling fan within me goes, work. It's a Total Divas work. And if this ends up on an episode of Total Divas where she gets into an altercation with Del Rio, and then she gets detained by the police and taken away because they were fighting, then I would not be surprised one bit. However, I also, like you said, Charlie, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just an immature accident between two wrestlers. One who looks like he left the company and got on the sauce. No offense, ADR, but you went from being an average to like really big. And he could be very easily agitated, and like you said, it wouldn't be surprised. You mix an older, agitated man with a younger, wild girlfriend, and fights will ensue. And if that's what happened, well, we shall see.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's what I was thinking about it. Like when I first heard that rumor, I was thinking that's probably gonna be a hot episode of Total Divas. But yeah, other than that.
Juicy goss.
Yeah, big time goss.
All right, Jim. Let's start over to you for your news segment, your rumors.
All right. Listen, guys. I don't take bad drugs. I don't take good drugs. I take the drugs. And so my breaking news is that Roman Reigns, the so-proclaimed golden boy of the company, has been suspended for 30 days due to breaking of the wellness policy. And they did not specify which substance was abused, even though I think it is led to believe that it was some performance-enhancing substance, not a narcotic of some sort. And that's interesting because it happens at a time where the draft is about to occur, and he was a potential number one pick. And now he's not going to be there for the draft, even though his name might get called. It's at a time when he just got booked for the main event of a pay-per-view, and he may still be there. I read that the pay-per-view is further than 30 days away. But building to an event where one person cannot be there is quite strange. They're going to have 30 days to build up to a main event without their biggest guy being there. And I think it's ironic that it's only a 30-day suspension for performance-enhancing drugs when Titus O'Neil got 90 days for accidentally touching Vincent Kennedy McMahon. So it's really interesting here. I think it's more of a slap on the wrist than what the punishment really should be. And I think since it's their golden boy, they took it a little bit easy on him. Also, I thought it was really unique how WWE.com was the first source to break the news instead of a dirt sheet, and I can put that to two reasons. Reason one, the fan in me again, somehow this is an angle. I heavily doubt it, but that's you can never take that out of your mind. And then reason two is I think they wanted to break the news before the dirt sheets got a chance to break it so that they can control the story. So that it kind of makes them look like they're in charge of their own company rather than if somebody else reported that he was on the juice, it would kind of make them look bad. So if they take ownership to it right away, it makes them look like, hey, we take care of our league. We don't care who it is. So that is my interesting news for the day. I'm going to ask Matt, what are your thoughts on losing the one and only for 30 days?
I don't care. He's I mean I actually like Roman, but whatever. He was probably not even going to be wrestling that much. So, but actually, I did hear a rumor too that they knew about this before Money in the Bank, and that was the reason why they took the belt off of him. I don't know
Oh,
how true
wow.
that was. Yeah, but if they did know, then it would make sense for them to take the belt off of him. Because it did seem weird that they decided to be unpredictable, considering everything that's happened in the last like year or so.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm kind of pissed that he only got 30 days, considering Titus got 90.
Yeah, I don't
Ridiculous.
think that's fair. I don't think that's
Yeah.
fair. Charles, how do you feel about losing Roman Reigns for 30 days?
That's funny that you bring up Titus. Poor Titus. That's totally not fair. I didn't even think about that. So, free Titus, honestly, free Titus. He's a father. He's a father, God damn it.
Yeah. Father of the year.
So my take is that two things that pop into my head was, and Jim, I agree with you. The reason why they broke it on the website is because they can work it into the storyline somehow. And I just don't know if the storyline is going to be, hey, this is what happened to Roman, so he's out of Battleground, or like this is what happened to Roman, so he's out. But I think technically he can still be wrestling at Battleground, so if they'll still give him that chance to wrestle. It's kind of cool that you said that rumor, Matt, about them potentially knowing about it before Money in the Bank, because that could have affected how Money in the Bank laid out.
Yeah.
Since they knew about that, they're like, okay, wait a second, let's not have KO win that match, let's have Dean win it, so we can give the belt to Seth and then have Dean take it off of him in kind of a justified, vindicated way. So that's crazy how that has that trickle effect if they knew about it. But I'm just really curious to see if he still wrestles and how kind of Shane or whoever wants to address it. Maybe it's Michael Cole who wants to address it on live TV, and how they kind of work it into the storyline. That's going to be the most interesting thing. I think it gives him mega heat, mega cheater heat if it comes out that it's like PEDs, and that's even a greater reason for him to just absorb that and run with it, like embrace that heat. So I don't know. It's going to be very, very, very interesting.
And I agree. I think that this comes at a really interesting time, and to see how the company handles it will be a lot of fun. And then I got some good rumor news for you guys. You guys can still hear me, right? I kind of lost sound there.
Yeah.
I can.
Okay. All right, awesome. So my recent rumor that I heard via on the Reddit, I saw that Meltzer reported something about the WWE reaching out to Kurt Angle, or them somehow reaching out to Kurt for not even discussing a potential role or a wrestling job, but just kind of reaching out to him saying, are you open to coming back? And he recently spoke on a podcast, I believe, saying that he wanted to come back and he expressed his mutual interest. So I think that we are going to be able to see Kurt this year at WrestleMania, which is like a Golden Boy's dream in my eyes, because he's in my top 5. I love that man. I think he's one of the best wrestlers to ever wrestle in this business. And as like a Kurt Angle mark, it gets me really excited because there's absolutely no way that they don't pair him up with American Alpha and make them some type of faction. And can you imagine watching American Alpha with Kurt Angle on their team take on either like the New Day or someone of that caliber? Or it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully that rumor comes to truth and we get Kurt back. What do you guys think? Charlie, what's up with the Kurt Angle rumor?
I don't know. It might just be a rumor at this point. I mean, I would love to. And I'm not trying to shoot you down here. I know Vince still has concerns about Angle because of his substance abuse, but hopefully that's in the past and kind of put behind him. I've just heard so many of these, and they're almost wearing out on me. I've heard Shelton Benjamin. I've heard Rey Mysterio again. Possibly John Morrison, like already established stars. And I just don't know. Until I see it, I guess I'll believe it. But right now, it's hard for me to get overhyped about it, and I don't even want to set my expectations really that high and then not have them come true. So
Yeah.
I just think, like, I don't know, it's going to be really, really weird to see what the roster looks like in 3 to 4 months. It's going to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm kicking it back to you, Charles.
All right. Matt, I don't know if you had any comment on Angle, but I would make it now, and then you can go into your news and rumors segment.
I'd be excited to see him with American Alpha. I love Kurt Angle. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, okay, so my news is that John Cena is set to host the Teen Choice Awards, and that's only news because I didn't think anyone over 12 would want to see John Cena, and I just thought it was funny. It's really fucking stupid. And do you guys, Jim, what do you think about the Teen Choice Awards with John Cena?
Dude, I think any press is good press, and like you said, there's nobody that likes Cena more than the kids. So hey, he's actually kind of funny. Like, no joke.
Yeah.
I think when he like takes off his John Cena mask, the dude is pretty funny. He's supposed to do the ESPYs this year too. Did you hear that?
Yep.
No, I didn't hear that. That's
I did.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, he's getting gigs. I think he's gonna slowly start phasing out. More talk show gigs, more hosting gigs. He can be like a movie star soon in the making as he starts to slow down his career.
The Miz 2.0.
Yeah, The Rock 2.0.
I know. The Miz is more of a superstar than The Rock will ever be, though. Charlie, any thoughts on Teen Choice Awards?
This is something that we've recently talked about, how wrestling fans are almost closet wrestling fans until they find the right opportunity to break out and tell someone that, hey, I like wrestling. And this is how it doesn't become that, because John Cena inserts himself into mainstream media, and people realize that John Cena is a great guy and a good guy, and then people are more willing to just give wrestling a chance. And then wrestling gets more fans, and then people like us can openly say, without fear of judgment, we're wrestling fans. I think this is a great step in that direction. I think that the coverage on SportsCenter is making it 100% more mainstream, and I love every second of it. And I think a lot of it has to do with Triple H. A lot of it has to do with Jonathan Coachman and that SportsCenter connection. So shout out to Coach. The first time we'll ever put Coach over. First and only. And I would love to see, although John Cena is the face of the company still, I would love to see more new era guys doing this as well. I know the new era guys are working a lot of shows as well, but it would be great to see a new era guy like a Seth Rollins showing up on more of these shows, because he is the future face of this company.
Yeah, he was on the Daily Show, but I feel like a Kevin Owens would be good on some kind of like talk show, being a dick, something. Yeah. So moving on to my rumor, it was actually rumored that Becky was originally supposed to turn heel, not Natalya, and they didn't really, in the article I read, they didn't disclose why they made the switch. Like, I can't even. I think they did say something about like Natalya wanting to retire and just spending time with Tyson Kidd. So maybe they're trying to like phase her out somehow. But do you guys have any thoughts on that, Jim? Maybe.
Dude, I think that's really cool that you said that. I think I saw something about that too, whether or not it was going to be like Natty staying face and Becky turning. But I did hear that same thing, that this was like a last-minute decision right before they went out there. I think it's because they might realize the potential that Becky has like outs to be the face of the Divas. Because Banks is an in-betweener. She's got a heels attitude, but the people love her. She's like a Seth.
Yeah.
You know, and so Becky will get her time someday. So I think they got to keep slow burning her as the face of the company. That's a very cool rumor, Matt.
Yeah. And also, I feel like this is her chance to be like the last kicker, because she was saying during her promo on Raw, like, one strike and you're out with me. So I feel like she's gonna be more badass. What do you think, Charlie?
I love Becky Lynch. She's slowly becoming my favorite diva, almost more than the Boss. I know you guys are gonna hate me for saying that.
That's crazy talk, but go ahead.
I compare her to Sami Zayn, and I'm glad they didn't turn her heel because she's so girl next door likable and so cute. I wouldn't even call her hot. I would call her cute. There's a difference there. And and she needs to stay babyface, and like you said, they need to slow burn her. She will have her time, and just like Sami Zayn will have his time. They both need work on the mic. They both need work in their interviews, but there is definitely so much room to grow there. And I just don't ever see her becoming a heel because she's she's so girl next door, lovable, like charismatic, energetic, almost like a ditz with all her puns and things like that. I just don't know how, unless you have a heart of darkness, I don't know how you can not like a person like that.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it'd be like. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was shouting at the screen when we were watching Money in the Bank for people to leave her alone because people started cheering when Natty was beating her up, and I felt so bad for her. She's like a one baby face I can't cheer against.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like her turning heel would be like Bailey or like John Cena turning heel. It'd be weird. But yeah. Charles, you can take it away from Charles. Move on.
All right, so I think we should get into a little Money in the Bank recap. I know the listeners probably wanted us to just jump right into that, but we make you wait for the good stuff.
Just like WWE.
We let the steak sizzle a little bit.
Yeah, we slow burn your ass.
Slow burn your ass, just like Becky Lynch. So let's get into a little bit Money in the Bank recap. We don't have to break down every single match because we'll be here for like 3 hours saying really good points and things. But I want to just talk about quickly 5 things that you like, maybe 5 things that you didn't like. And it doesn't have to be 5, but you can just name a handful. And then possibly your favorite moment of the night. So I think we should start with you, Matt. Just name some things that you really did like, some things that you didn't, and then your favorite moment.
Okay, so things I liked. I actually liked the Natty heel turn. It was kind of shocking, although it didn't really make sense. I thought the New Day match, although sloppy, was fun and pretty fun to watch. Let's see. Oh, the Money in the Bank match was great. The Michinoku driver on the ladder turned sideways was insane, and I love that the next day Kevin Owens was still selling it. Yeah, and let's see. And I thought even though it started slow, the main event was really good, and the spot where Seth reversed the spear into a pedigree was amazing. Some things I didn't like. One thing I did like, but this is more of a preview to one of the other segments. Kalisto's shirt matched his pants, so that was good. I did not like the pre-show matches because there was no build. Oh, well, I did love the Febreze versus Golden Truth match. It was pretty funny how they had the fake peeling skin and all that. But yeah. And obviously the moment of the night was the cash-in. And, well, for me, actually, the moment of the night was Seth actually beating Roman clean. And then I was, even though I loved the cash-in, I was almost, part of me was disappointed because I wanted Seth to have the belt. But I love Dean, so it was still a great moment. Yeah. That's it.
All right. What about you, Jim?
Oh, that was really good. I would say I really enjoyed the Money in the Bank ladder match. A lot of good spots, a lot of good builds of potential people winning the match because you really felt, aside from ADR and Jericho, that any of the other 4 guys legitimately could have had a shot. Maybe not Cesaro, but maybe you kind of felt like Zayn, Owens, and Ambrose could win. So the fact that there was 3 viable options every time a high-intensity moment came where someone started climbing the ladder, it was a good feeling, not knowing what they were going to do. Most of the matches we sit here and we talk about, and we're like, oh, we know what they're going to do. So I really liked the unpredictability of the ladder match. I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
I really liked, probably my favorite thing is going off of what Matt said, Seth beating Roman clean. establishes Seth as the guy. No one's beat Roman clean like ever. Usually it's somehow he gets hit or interfered or he doesn't take the pin. So watching him lose clean was like, oh God, it was really really awesome. So that was great, and Seth is awesome. I really liked, believe it or not, the tag match. Like Matt said, there were some spots that were botched a little bit or looked sloppy, but like Matt said, it was entertaining. It got a "This is awesome" chant, and I kind of really thought the Bullet Club was going to win. So I was pretty surprised when New Day retained. Things that I did not like was I'm a big fan of using the Money in the Bank as like a storyline for a while. Like, when's they going to cash it in? What is the outcome going to be? Oh, don't forget, he could always cash this in. So to see that go so fast makes me sad. I felt like Dean could have been put into a storyline with those other two guys without even having to win that match. Because Dean could have just been like, I've beaten Seth before, and I've taken Roman to the break before, and we all used to be in the shoot. I felt like there was a way around having to have him have the case. However, it worked, and it ended up being good. So that was just one thing that kind of disappointed me. I like when the briefcase is around, because now it's gone for the whole year. It's gone. We don't have it. So those are my likes and dislikes.
That was very well said. I think.
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
Another dislike was Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin for the 66th time.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck them. You guys aren't allowed to wrestle anymore.
I think that's hopefully done.
Yeah, it has to be.
But yeah, Jim and Matt's friend Brett, who we were watching the show with. So Matt and I, with some other people, were watching at the Squared Circle. So we had two of Matt's friends, Dan and Brett, and the Squared Circle was lit. The owner was cutting promos in this piece, and like everyone had yes chants going, and John Cena sucks chants, and it was crazy. And then our Twitter friend Trina, at the Marky Smark on Twitter, ended up joining us, and it was the first time we got to meet her, and there was like a lot of good interactions, just a lot of good talking at the table, and it was really fun experience with like a big group of people. But one of Matt's friends, Brett, brought up the fact, and I know I brought this up to you in text, Jim, was that how the briefcase would work with the brand split, and it would have to be like Dean would have to get drafted to the show with the guy with the belt, or he would get drafted to the other show, and then would he cash in on the World Heavyweight Championship if that's coming back? So I think he just touched on the briefcase not really being thought out with this whole brand split, and the fact that they kind of had to like use it up and get it over with to kind of go into the brand split without that awkwardness of having Dean, kind of not know what to do with it or what show he was going to be on or who he's going to be paired with, etc. So I thought that was a really good point and something to think about. Getting into my likes, I think Rusev is like the perfect combination of someone who you are also like frightened by, but who just can't help but make you laugh. Like his wide eyes staring at you and into the crowd at those little kids was like something that you can believe in, like something you can believe that he's a badass, but also Rusev is like low key one of the funniest people on the roster, and he doesn't even mean to be really.
Yes.
I thought the Money in Bank did a really good job of awesome spots without like something crazy. There wasn't like a crazy, gigantic high spot like I think there was at the WrestleMania ladder match, although that's WrestleMania and you need spots like that. It was almost like they did more cooler spots of everyone fighting together and everyone like grabbing the briefcase at the same time. It was spots were a little bit more storytelling instead of just giant pops, which I thought was good. I thought Cruz did surprisingly well. I think this is his first pay-per-view match, right, from being on the roster, and I think he did surprisingly well. And I think that the Febreze team, can steal the show, any show, with like a comedy segment every show. I think they need to keep pushing them.
Along with the Golden Tree.
Yes. The things I didn't like was the awkwardness of the tag match. I know these teams you kind of have like your veterans, and then a lot of young guys in the match, and then people who like just came here but who wrestled in Japan. So it's not difficult to say that there just wasn't. It was going to be hard to have a lot of chemistry in that match with four different teams, but I thought they could have did it way better, honestly. And I thought the beginning of the pay-per-view was really slow, and then it started to really go into overdrive at the end. I also wish Becky would have won and went over. A huge Becky mark, as you can tell. But my favorite part was I honestly thought the camera angles of the cash-in were amazing and completely sold that cash-in. Like,
I agree.
When Rollins had the belt, you could see a faint hint of the Titantron, and it was almost like the camera was staring at the Titantron, and then Dean Ambrose's imagery showed up, and then the music hit, and then the camera went to the other side of the ring, and you didn't see Dean until the second of Rollins got hit with the briefcase. Like, it was just really cool how they did that. Like, you have to give him credit, and even give Vince credit. Like, we bury Vince a lot, everyone does, but they got it right, in my opinion, and it was fantastic. Everyone at the Squared Circle was lit and hype. There was yes chants. We walked out of there happy men. So
yeah. I wanted to say one more thing about Rusev, but I forgot. If I remember it, I'll say it.
Okay.
Oh, I remember. I showed Extreme Rules to one of my friends who doesn't really watch wrestling, and he found Rusev legitimately terrifying. And the spot where Rusev threw Kalisto on the apron, and then they were checking on him, Rusev pulls Kalisto into the ring and stomps on his back twice. It was just ridiculous. After he has an injured spine, but I just love Rusev for that.
I mean, that goes to my point of Rusev. Rusev is terrifying, but he's also hysterical. Like, he can just switch it on and off almost like a light switch.
Yeah.
The range. Okay, let's ring the bell here. Ding, ding, ding. That was my sound effect. And jump into our triple threat recap match. I know I just spoke a lot, but my question's first on the agenda again. And let's just
wonder who wrote the agenda.
and let's get into this triple threat recap. So the triple threat recap is everyone goes around and asks a question to each other. Kind of what we've been doing, but they're a little more tantalating questions. So my question for you, and I know you guys both watched Raw, is it looks like the New Day and the Wyatts are headed towards a feud, which is great. Depending on, we could either be really good or they could really screw it up. But depending on where this goes, I want to know, does New Day fall? Like, do the Wyatts take away the belts of the New Day? It looked like Xavier Woods was kind of going into a trance almost.
Yeah.
During that promo, and I think if the New Day does split up eventually, either this year or next, Xavier Woods needs to be put over in that split up, and he needs to benefit from it because he's got the least amount of experience. So my question to you, Jim, is does New Day fall? Do the Wyatts take the belt off of them? Do they end up splitting this year? Any of that?
I like that. It's a great question. I think the Wyatts do beat them. Because I think in X amount of days, 30-something days, they tie or break the record for longest belt holding, for tag titles, which I think they want to give them that record. Then after they get that record, I think that, I think they'll lose the belts, because if the Wyatts can't even beat the New Day, then who can the Wyatts beat? And that's not a knock on the New Day, but Bray Wyatt's supposed to be a borderline main event caliber threat of fear and hatred, and so if Bray Wyatt can't even beat the New Day, then who can Bray Wyatt beat? So they need to win a feud. So I'm gonna take the New Day takes a loss to the Wyatt family. However, I don't think they split up. I actually think that they're gonna be a legendary tag team when it's all said and done, and they'll ride the New Day out until Kofi Kingston retires, because.
Wow.
Because I think that this is it, man. It's borderline Degeneration X. You're not gonna they're gonna keep this going for as long as they can until the wheels fall off. And I think it still has a lot of gas left in the tank. They're so loved. So I don't think they'll break up this year. Not yet, at least.
Nice. So if the Wyatts win the tag belts, do they do a Freebird, Jim?
I don't know. That's a good question because that's if they have it, maybe. But I don't want Bray to be wasted like that. I guess, and that's selfish of me. But where else do you put Bray right now in the programming? But yeah, maybe they do Freebird, or maybe they just put it on the two behemoths that stand behind Bray. But I don't know, man. The Wyatts need to do something. They need to win a feud. Otherwise, they're just pointless.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matt. Same question to you.
Yeah. So I don't know that the Wyatts need the belt, but at the same time, the New Day also does need the belt. The New Day is solidified as like the most popular tag team, I believe, and like they're not gonna be like taken over until like Enzo and Kaz like become like the big thing. But the Wyatts definitely need to win a feud, and like Jim said, if they can't beat the New Day, like what luck do they have? Like the New Day aren't booked as a strong tag team; they're booked as a funny and entertaining tag team. Like they don't need to win to be over. The Wyatts do need to win because they're booked as scary. And
That's a good point.
and yeah, and does the New Day split up this year? I hope not. I think they'll split up one day. Not before. It will be before Kofi retires, but I feel like it's gonna be like a DX type of thing where they get back together for nostalgia's sake, and then they're not funny anymore.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and like Big E is gonna be like balding, or Kofi's gonna be balding. Like he's not gonna have any his dreads anymore or something. It's gonna be ugly. We already seen this happen. Um, but yeah, I would hope the Wyatts would win a feud for once. Yeah, because the New Day don't need to win feuds.
Yes. I would agree. I think the Wyatts are going to beat them. And I don't think it's a terrible idea to start off Bray with, I think this would be Bray's first taste of gold. It's not a terrible idea to start him off with some tag team gold. A lot of people start with tag team gold. Or it could be the start of just a Wyatt gold dominance because they've never been one to have gold, but they might want to try something new with them and try to get them even more over or a legitimate threat like they're supposed to be booked. Someone who could really kill you if they wanted to. So, they put the two tag golds on the two behemoths, and then Bray goes for some other title. I really can't picture any other title on Bray except the WWE Championship, but we'll see.
Agree.
All right. So I would like to then pass off to Matt, and I think Matt's got a question for us.
Yes. I want to know, when does Sasha take the belt? I know like a lot of people think SummerSlam, but I think it could. After seeing what happened at Money in the Bank, I feel like WWE might like be a little bit more inclined to take a risk and do it at a lesser pay-per-view. Although, who knows? But what do you guys think, Charlie? What do you think?
I'm gonna go SummerSlam, but just because SummerSlam's close, right? It's July's Battleground, and then August is SummerSlam. August comes after July, right? Or am I just been in the office too long? I think it'll be better at SummerSlam, and I think that I would like to see an elongated feud between Charlotte and Sasha. I think they can have a really good feud. So if they're going to drag it out for a month, then I'm okay with that.
Or would you expect them to even wait longer than that and take it all the way to WrestleMania?
No, because I feel like everyone wanted Sasha to win at WrestleMania, and they gave Charlotte that W, and I think Charlotte's had her reign, honestly. And it's only getting worse with Dana Brooke, so I think Sasha needs a belt.
Yeah. Are you okay, Jim?
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that's like on the spot. Except I'll make a bold prediction, because I'm all about the goofy stories. I think that, like Matt said, they could pull curveball, have Sasha take it off Charlotte at Battleground, and then after the draft, I don't know what they're gonna do with the Divas if they are on both shows or
Women.
one show. Women, sorry. I don't know what they're gonna do with the women if they're on both shows or one show. But I think it would be really cool for Sasha to win the belt, and then her first challenger to be newly drafted Bayley.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
So I think it'd be really cool if like Sasha won, and then all of a sudden she thinks she's the shit in town, and Charlotte gets drafted to a different show. I don't know, or who knows what's going on. But I can see Bayley getting drafted, and then having the SummerSlam match being Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, in a triple threat. I don't know. This company's really throwing a curveball at me with the draft, so we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Jim, you had a question for us.
I do, and kind of just touches on what I was saying. All right, so we know the draft is scheduled for the 19th, which is that SmackDown's first live airing. But Battleground is like the 20-something, I believe. And then SummerSlam is after that, obviously. So why are they already booking matches with potentially Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose without the draft hasn't happened yet? So, like, if Dean got drafted to the same, does that mean Dean, Seth, and Roman are all going to get drafted to the same show? It's impossible. They're like the top picks in the draft. So like, is that indicating that there's only going to be one belt and it floats between both shows, like the women's will and the men's will, or the tag will, or what's going to happen? Why are they already booking matches to a pay-per-view that's going to be after the draft? And it's really confusing me. So Charlie, what are your thoughts on them already kind of booking Battleground when we're going to be a segmented company in about 2.5 weeks?
Wow, I think you just blew my mind with that observation. I really don't know what they're doing. Now that Reigns is out, so that would mean Dean and Seth would have to be on the same show, right? And it looks like probably Titus and Rusev are headed towards a rematch, so they would be on the same show. So they're kind of already showing you, what the rosters are going to be like based off of what the feuds are going to be at Battleground. So I think this is just another kind of what do you want to call it, pitfall of them not really planning out this brand split too well. Like I know we've said in the past on podcasts that this brand split kind of came out of nowhere, and my theory was when Cody Rhodes left, they said Vince just was like, all right, we're doing it. We got to keep all this talent around and give them something to do. So maybe they just didn't even plan for it. I don't know. I don't think they know what they're doing, honestly. I think they're just biding time until they figure out what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Matt, what do you think?
I'm inclined to agree with Charlie. It seems a little weird. I didn't even think about that. Why book a triple threat match for the title that may not even be the only title? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't understand it. Yeah, and I don't know if I have an answer for that at all.
Maybe the only thing I can think of is that they have the draft, and then they say at the draft, pay-per-view splits are going to start after SummerSlam. Or, I mean, we'll find out, but if they really do plan on having their own shows and their own pay-per-views, maybe they wait to do that. Maybe they just have wrestlers wrestle on Tuesday or Monday, but then at the pay-per-views they wrestle each other. It's really confusing. But I'm sure that they will have a plan in place by the time. So I'm really interested to see what they do. It's the first time where they got me stumped, man.
I'm looking at the calendar, and so after the draft happens on the 19th, it's really just Battleground. That's the only other show. So maybe there's just going to be this is going to be an exception where, although Dean and Rollins are on different shows, they're just going to wrestle each other on Battleground, and then starting right after Battleground, one will be on Raw, one will be on SmackDown. Like Battleground might just have to be the exception due to poor planning, and possibly like low SmackDown ratings. Maybe they're having this draft sooner than they wanted to, because of what you said earlier. So I don't know. That just might be the exception. Like this is our last pay-per-view with merged rosters, but after this, they're all splitting.
Yeah. And also, do you think SmackDown gets SummerSlam, and that's like their WrestleMania?
No, I think that it's said that I don't think they're going to do different. And correct me if I'm wrong. They're not going to do different shows. Like the old brand split, you had like this pay-per-view is Raws, right? This pay-per-view is SmackDowns. I don't believe they're going to do that. I think for pay-per-views, it's going to be like Raw match, SmackDown match, Raw match, SmackDown match, just kind of like stacked on each other. Does that sound right, Jim?
I mean, yeah, I heard a rumor that they were going to do their own, but I don't see how that would work.
I think that's one of those. It's one of those pitfalls that happened the last time, and I keep using the word pitfalls, but maybe that's something they can learn from their mistakes. Because I don't remember too many pay-per-views of the brand split. Honestly, like right when it happened, I started getting out of wrestling. But I feel like it would be hard if you start a SmackDown feud, but the next upcoming pay-per-view for that month is Raw. You're kind of like, it'll be hard to fill content for every single SmackDown show and make it interesting if you have to wait 2 months for your blow-off instead of 1 month.
Yeah.
I don't think that they'll do that.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, so we are moving on. And that was a really good question, Jim. Got me thinking a little bit. I wanted to do a quick fantasy recap. I'm just going to say some of my observations from fantasy, and then I'll pass it off to you guys to say the rest. So at the Squared Circle, we ended up unintentionally sitting in the bar with Thomas, who was in our fantasy league. Thomas came with his girlfriend, who it was her first experience watching wrestling, and she loved it. I think she picked a great pay-per-view to pop the cherry on in terms of wrestling. And I'm sitting across from Thomas, and I can see him, but he can't see me. And Dean just has the biggest fantasy points night. I don't know if there's ever been a bigger one since fantasy wrestling has been a thing. And even the people from DropTheBelt.com tweeted, if you have Dean Ambrose in your league, you probably just won. And I was just like, God damn it, because it's been kind of a two-horse race, at least so far, between Thomas and I. Surprisingly, Thomas did take the lead with all those Dean Ambrose points. I think he got like 45 for winning Money in the Bank and maybe 70 for winning the title, all in one night. But surprisingly, I'm not that far behind him. So I think I still have a chance. My team has been very balanced. Everyone is contributing and putting in work. Even my last place guy, which is Titus O'Neil, who has 39 points. He is the highest scoring last place guy, or highest scoring sixth man on any team. I looked, so my team, it's a solid full team effort, and so that's kind of my quick fantasy recap. I'm in second place right now. And trying to catch up to that Dean Ambrose train that is just running away with like 300 plus total points on the year so far. So what do you think, Jim?
Man, I'm looking at. I'm thinking ADR is gonna take a back roll, so you're gonna lose. You're going to lose points on that. Becky's on the come up, though.
Yep.
I think Titus is going to keep losing to Rusev, just for now.
Right.
But you got Kofi, Owens, Carl Anderson, and Becky Lynch, Aiden English. Dude, you're in good shape because all he's really got is Dean. Because Cesaro might win on a Monday, next Monday lose, or if he's on SmackDown, win on a SmackDown, next SmackDown lose. Enzo and Cash should keep winning. Tyler Breeze and Fandango are for Thomas, so it's like, I don't know if they're going to keep winning. You might be able to catch him. It's going to be close.
I'll pass it to you, Matt, in a second, but to your points, I think ADR is a complete wild card right now. Either his woes with Paige and the fact that he's kind of a dickhead, probably, is going to send his ass packing, but he's a Vince guy. So I've read that Triple H really doesn't like him, but Vince really likes him and wants to give him even more of a push. And he's one of those guys who could potentially thrive in I can't say it, brand split if he just stops being such a pero. So he's a wild card, and I think Becky Lynch is on the come up and could potentially make up for that and maybe a slipping Vaudevillains team as well. But I'm going to pass it off to you, Matt.
I'm happy to say I'm no longer in last place.
Yeah.
Yes. And I actually I'm ahead of the last place person by 90 points, and I'm catching up on Romero. So I'm feeling pretty good. Although I have pretty much a two-person team. My team is literally just Big E and Charlotte. So hopefully Sasha and Charlotte are going to cancel each other out. I just need Triple H to come back. I don't know. I just don't want to be last place, so I don't have to take a finisher. So that's all I care about. Yeah. But Charlotte was actually the third this week, the third in points behind Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. So that was a good pick.
Yeah, and it is.
I don't like fantasy sports anyway.
So why'd you join?
Because it's
I
fun.
wanted to be a part of something.
Yeah, it's fun.
You sound like someone who gets picked last in dodgeball or something. I just want to be a part of something.
I basically got picked last. All right. Yeah.
All right.
I just want to say before you wrap up fantasy wrestling that Dean has 324 points. The person behind him is Rusev with 174. That's such a big difference. It's not even funny.
Oh my god. See, yeah, he'd be in like fourth place if he didn't have Dean.
Yeah, no, Dean by himself would be in sixth place.
Dean has more points than Dean actually has more points than three of the teams, including my team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dean's team by himself would be in sixth place.
You know what sucks too is that every single one of us, except for maybe Jim. Jim, did you have the turn? No, you didn't. Every single one of us had a chance to pick Dean, didn't we?
Yeah, he went at the turn. Thomas took him at 8.
Oh wow.
I took Sami Zayn ahead of him because I'm an asshole.
I picked Charlotte because I like Charlotte.
Because Matt likes women.
I do like women.
All right. So
Not divas.
So, Matt, I'm going to give you some time because I know that you were venting a lot during this when we were watching at the Squared Circle, and I'm going to give you some time to just vent about some ring attires that just were not working for you, or maybe some that were.
Yeah. So, all right. This is basically what I was put on this earth to do. So I'm going to go with some I like first. Obviously, Enzo, he always looks amazing. I love his overalls. I love the poop emoji. His patterns are a little loud, of course, but that's just part of his personality. It's loud like his voice. Big Cass, I enjoy the cutoff, like, certified G shirt. I need to get one of those. But a little tangent, Big Cass needs to talk faster, just like Dean needs to run faster. It's just, every one of his promos is just, you look like you don't like what he's saying about you. And it's like, come on. It's annoying. Another great outfit was for Breeze. I will not call him Breezango because that name is awful. Even though their skin was peeling off, their outfit was on fleek. Seth Rollins' outfit looked great. I like the new thing. Although I do miss the like all white suit. But yeah, Seth he always looks like a supervillain. Let's go with some bad ones. Charlie has actually brought this up before I did. Is Baron Corbin's pants? Those are just I don't know. They're terrible. I actually said that they make him look like a racist. Like he looks either that or he looks like he lives in a swamp somewhere. Apollo Crews changing up the the colors of his trunks for some reason. It's like he didn't want to have the same color as the theme of the pay-per-view, so now he went with two terrible shades of blue and orange. I don't like it's all right because they're complementary colors, but he could have picked better shades. But it doesn't make any sense because Titantron's all green. Um, and Titus still needs to wear more clothes. I don't know. He's too big. He should wear pants. It's gross. Natty, I never like her outfit. I don't know. It's that leather. She looks like a dominatrix. It's not great. Uh, and I like Becky more when she just wears her last kicker T-shirt. Her outfit looks like she can't move very well in it. Yeah, and last but not least, Dean, please get wrestling attire. You're the champion now. What's wrong with you? Why are you fighting in jeans? No athlete does their job in jeans. It looks dumb. And a wife beater, come on. One of our friends refers to him as Default Ambrose because he looks like a creative player who you didn't change anything about their look, and his finisher is like DDT1.
Wow, that is amazing. Default Ambrose.
But Charlie, are you the one who came up with DDT1, or was that Pat?
No, I think that DDT1 was me, but I actually think that PC it was Pat. It was Pat who said he looked like an unfinished creative player in a video game.
Yeah. He looks so default. All right, that's it for me on ring attire. One more thing, actually. I brought this up earlier. Good job for Kalisto actually matching his shirt with his pants. At Extreme Rules, he came out with a green shirt and with purple and gold pants. Purple and gold look good together, they're complementary colors. But why would you have the same green shirt? Someone else did that too at Extreme Rules. It's like if you're going to change... Oh, the Usos. They changed their trunks and their face paint to black and gold, but they still had that super colorful T-shirt on. It's like if you're going to change one thing, change everything. Have a theme. Ring attire's not hard to get right. Just, you got Sandra, the seamstress. Ask her what looks good. It's not that hard. It just pisses me off.
Matt is the most animate about this segment. I've never seen Matt more animate about a segment.
Together. All right, I'm done.
Matt, you didn't even touch on the HBK-inspired tights by Dolph.
I forgot about those. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler had amazing pants. I really want a pair of those. They reminded me and Charlie of the classic Texas heart trunks or tights that HBK wore. I believe it was the Royal Rumble in 1996 or 97. He wore it facing Psycho Sid. It was the match where he hit him with the camera. But those tights are amazing. I actually want to buy those and wear them to the gym and also to sleep. But yeah, Dolphs were amazing. They had these skulls that almost looked like they're kitties or something. I don't know. It was great. Great colors. Dolph is a beautiful man, though, so he always looks great. I'm done.
Oh! All right. That was fantastic. Fantastic fashion segment from Matt. We're going to hop right into our game. And these games have been hot lately, and they usually lead to a hot tag. And that's what this one's going to lead to. I am the reigning, defending, undisputed champion, 2-0. And so I'm going to play the moderator now, and I'm going to have you guys battle it out in the battleground. What? WWE fun? So the game is inspired by a tweet I saw. Johnny Gargano, who is an indie wrestler and is going to be in the Cruiserweight Classic for WWE, which also we need to get into some coverage of that next time. But there was a tweet where he's supposedly getting married. I think he's getting married to Candice LeRae. Maybe not. Maybe I have my indie wrestlers messed up. And
yeah, he proposed to her in the ring.
Okay. And there was a tweet where the person at the store who was going to figure out what tuxedo to, I don't know what you call it, the seamstress who was going to figure out what tuxedos to buy for his best man or to fit for his best man, was asking for their names, and Johnny Gargano responded with, "Do you need real names?" And she's like, and she just said nothing. And he's like, "Okay, let me check Wikipedia." So he doesn't even know. Like, I'm assuming all the men standing up in his wedding is going to be like Ciampa, who that might not even be Ciampa's real name. Like, he doesn't know all the real names because he knows all the ring names and calls them by that. So this game is inspired by the real name of the wrestler. So I'm going to say a real name of a wrestler, and we're going to go one by one, and the person needs to give me the ring name of that wrestler. So I'm like, as an example, I would say Terry Bollea. I would give that to
Hulk
Jim,
Hogan.
and Jim would go Hulk Hogan, right? So we're gonna go one by one. It's not gonna be buzzed in, and we're gonna do the first of three. But you have the opportunity to steal if you get it wrong, and then if Jim goes first and he gets all three, like, Matt has the opportunity to counter and like keep the match going, kind of.
Wait, we're not doing a best of 7?
I think I just didn't write down that many. I only wrote down 8. So
Okay.
I'm running the game here. God damn it. Let's do a first of 3. But like I said, like that, the last person. It's kind of like a hockey shootout. Last person can rebuttal and like keep the match going a little bit. So we're gonna start with Jim, and I'm going to give you a real name. This is based off Wikipedia, first name and last name. I'm not going to do middle name. And you're going to give me the ring name of this person. Ready? Are you ready, Jim?
Oh yeah.
He's thinking. He's meditating. All right, Jim. Colby Lopez.
Seth Rollins.
I knew that one. Damn it.
Starting off with an easy one.
Yeah. Too easy.
Too easy, just like Apollo Crews. It was. I don't know how he screwed up the ring attire. It was too easy. Just make it.
Yeah, it was too easy.
It was too easy. All right, Matt. Are you ready for yours?
Yeah.
Oh wait. Let me make a little scorecard here. Jim, Matt. Sorry. All right, Jim has one. All right, Matt. Glenn Jacobs.
Kane,
the Big Red Machine.
Yes,
Whoever's editing this should put in the theme music right after you say it. Just the music starts.
That's a lot of work, Charlie.
It's a lot of work, I know. Put it in, damn it. All right. So we're tied at 1 here. Jim, here comes your next person.
Okay.
Steve Borden.
Oh God. Steve Borden.
I have no idea.
I have no idea, so I'm gonna throw out the BS guess. I'll go with Steve Borden is Dolph Ziggler.
That is incorrect. Matt, you have the chance to steal.
I feel like I've heard that name before, but I don't know. I can't.
Don't look it up. I know you guys are in front of computers.
I'm not gonna look it up. That'd be evil. I don't know. What? Ty Dillinger? Was that a Okay. I thought that was a hint.
That wasn't a hint.
That would have been anyway.
What's your answer?
Oh, Zack Ryder. I don't know.
Shame on both of you. It's Sting, goddammit. Screw both of you.
Oh, wow.
The legend. The
oh,
GOAT.
That's how I heard it.
The GOAT.
All right.
Both of you need to burn in the fires of hell. All right. I started with Jim on that one, so let's go to Matt. Are you ready, Matt?
Yeah.
Chris Irvine.
What was that? You broke
Chris
up.
Irvine.
Chris Irvine. Chris Irvine. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. No idea.
Guess.
I keep guessing people that I know the names of. Shit. Ultimate Warrior?
Incorrect.
I knew. Jim?
Jim, you have the chance to steal.
Christian.
It is not Christian. That's a good guess, though. It is Y2J Chris Jericho.
I thought about
my
doing
God.
Jericho, but then I was like, I don't. Damn it.
Damn. Why
Yes.
did I didn't think you would choose someone who had the same first name. I thought you were being sneaky.
You've underestimated my sneakiness. Or overestimated. All right. This one made me giggle, and I can't believe that I didn't know this one when I looked it up. So this one's to Jim. By the way, it's just first to 3 now because you've each had a miss. Jim, are you ready?
Yeah?
Michael Hickenbottom.
Oh, I think I know this one. No, Matt, I think I know this one.
Don't you dare Google.
For some odd reason, I feel like I know this one, but I don't know it. I'm going to guess Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels is correct.
Damn it! I knew that one.
Play the music.
I knew it. It's like, oh, I hate you. I was so gonna steal that. He didn't give me that because he knows Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler.
No, honestly, we just started with Jim, and it just went in order.
Got him.
All right, that's a good one. So Jim is up 2, so Matt's 1. Matt, it's your turn. Your next person to guess is Oscar Gutierrez. This game's fun. I'm so glad I'm on my end and not your end.
Oscar Gutierrez. Oh, I've heard that name before. I don't know.
You have to guess.
Making me
Say
so
something.
angry.
There's a ton of wrestlers. Think people who are on the roster, people who are not on the roster. I mean, come on.
Oscar Gutierrez. It's pissing me off. I want to be right.
You're going to say something, otherwise I'm going to give it to Jim to steal. You're taking too long.
I don't know. Savio Vega.
Not a bad guess, but no, that's not correct. All right, Jim, this is your chance to steal and win the game.
Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio! Booyah, kabooyah! 619!
Dude, I just
Damn
guessed a BS Mexican wrestler.
Yeah, I just guessed a random Latin wrestler. And it was funny. In my head, I was thinking Chavo Guerrero.
Same.
Like,
The first thing that popped in my head was Eddie, and I was like, nah, that's his real name, though.
That's his real name, yeah.
Okay, what else did you have written down? Can we guess the ones you have written down?
Yeah, Matt. We'll give you this. Oh, wait. Jim, you have something to say?
Well, keep going, Charlie. I'll talk to you in a minute, Dad. Busted.
All right.
Are you podcasting again?
Yeah, I'll just say I have 2 more. I'll just read these next 2 off, and then just whoever. Jim has already won, and we'll get the hot tag eventually. But just say who you think it is. Okay, ready? Leon White.
Leon.
Big Show.
No.
No, it's Paul White.
It's Paul White.
I don't know.
It's time. It's Vader
Vader.
time.
I knew that. I've seen his Twitter.
Right. And then the last one I had written down was Ettore Ewan.
Oh, that's Big E.
That's Big E. Ettore.
His name is Ettore?
Ettore. Yeah. All right, that was a great game. So I'm getting up from getting my ass beat for the last 15 minutes, and I'm reaching out, and I'm going to hit Jim with the hot tag. Are you ready, Jim?
Yep.
Boom.
Bang! All right, so I'm going to come in hot with a couple clotheslines and just say that I'm excited. I'm really excited to be a wrestling fan right now. This podcast is going places. So I think that if you keep listening to us, we're going to be having some good coverage of this upcoming draft. I'm really excited about the draft, more so than I am about a lot of things. I'm really into the NFL draft, so I think that the draft for the SmackDown episode, here's my bold hot tag prediction, the SmackDown draft episode will be the most watched episode of a wrestling TV show since that Edge and lead a live sex episode because this is groundbreaking stuff right here.
Wow, I love it.
Damn.
It'll be the most watched segment in a long time, and you can book that.
And you can't teach that.
And you can't teach that.
Oh man.
All right, that's awesome. Congrats to Jim for winning. Matt, just like his fantasy team, is in the dumps.
I'm like the golden truth. One of these days, I'm gonna get a win.
Very good comparison. So this was Layeth the Mat Down. As you can tell, we're killing it out here and repping Chicago wrestling in the Chicago wrestling community. Follow us at Layeth the Mat. Layeth the Mat, right? Layeth the Mat. Follow myself at Chuck_Colorado. Follow our homies on the web. Our girl Trina at the Marky Smark. And then follow Matt. What's your Twitter handle, Matt?
At Fatreed, FATTREED.
Follow Jim at a Twitter handle that he doesn't use. What is it, Jim?
Yeah, it's JMW3LSH. I'm gonna start using it more often because I gotta get on that hot tweet game stuff.
Yeah. So
Charlie's actual Twitter name is Charles.
My Twitter name is not Charles. But Tyler Breeze is a funny man, and he should continue to be funny.
I love Tyler. All right.
All right. So that's our show. Hope you enjoyed Layeth the Mat Down. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on YouTube. And we're in your house. And WWF in your house. And in your
And in your earphones, baby.
Good night from Chicago.
Bye.
Bye.